Welcome back to another edition of our updated videos here on the whole stimulus and PPP loans. This is a new medium that we're going to continue to use here in the rest of 2020 and future years. So if you know of any business owners, individuals that find these videos to be useful, feel free to pass them along. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be sending you a lot more of these videos and other tips along the way. So first off, I'm going to cover what the Senate and House passed, and again, we're waiting on President Trump to do the final sign-off. So we don't anticipate any additional changes, but I'm just going to cover the top 5 items that were discussed in this bill. The bill is 5,600 pages long, and this was just passed yesterday evening, so we haven't had a chance to kind of review every single page yet. So I'm going to cover the top 5. So number 1, stimulus payments. So if you're an individual filing your tax return single and your AGI, your adjusted gross income, is $75,000 or less, your stimulus payment will be $600. If you're married, file joint, you're a couple, and your AGI is $150,000 or less, your stimulus payment will be $1,200. Now, if you don't know what your adjusted gross income is, your AGI number, go to your 2019 personal tax return, go to line 8B as in boy, and that's where you'll find your number. And that's what the IRS is going to look at to determine what payments are going to be sent out. Now, if your AGI is above that number, your stimulus payment is going to be reduced by $5 for every $100 that you're over that AGI limit. So if you're single and you want to know what the max cap is, if your AGI is $87,000, you're not going to get any stimulus payments. So anything beyond that $87,000, you get nothing. And if it's between the $75,000 and the $87,000, that $600 that you're going to get is going to be reduced. Same for couples. If you're filing a joint return and if your AGI has hit $174,000 and you don't have any children, you're not going to get anything. So between $150,000 and $174,000, that $1,200 of stimulus payment is going to be reduced. Now, like I said, the Treasury says that they're going to be sending these out next week. As we all saw back in March and April, those payments were kind of delayed, and I think they're still sending out stimulus payments to people in that phase 1. So although they're saying in the news next week, you may get it, you may not, but just be patient if your AGI kind of falls in those thresholds. That's point number 1. Point number 2, probably the most important for all small business owners, is the PPP loans. So if you remember, you got a loan, you use those loan funds to pay for payroll, for rent, and what the IRS originally stated is you could not deduct those expenses. So what happened is if your loan got forgiven, it would turn up as other income, and that would offset those expenses that you spent. So it was kind of like a net zero. In this bill, you can deduct those expenses. So this is great news. And then on your tax return, assuming your loan gets forgiven, what happens with that with your loan is other income. There's a section in the tax return that will say you don't include it in your income. So that's great news. I think every small business owner out there is going to be very appreciative of that. Point number 3, PPP Loan 2.0 is what I'll call it. In this act, about $325 billion is allotted to small businesses. Of that, about $284 billion relates to the PPP loans. So that's great. We haven't heard about how they're going to open this up to small businesses. I've heard that there's going to be limits on the size of the business. So, I think they're going to decrease the number of employees that a business has. So instead of 500 employees, it could be down to 300 or 200. In addition, you'll probably have to prove out that your business suffered during COVID. So showing like a decrease in revenue. It could be 25%, it could be 30%. We don't know the details yet, but there is going to be another PPP 2.0. Now, if your business is doing well, you're probably not going to get that, but at the end of the day, your business is doing well during this time, so I think that's a win there. Point number 4, the employee retention credit. So if you're a business and you received a PPP loan, you are not eligible to get this employee retention credit. In this new act, now you are. So what I would recommend, and I know this is all kind of fresh off the press, is reach out to your payroll provider, because they're going to be helping you with this payroll tax credit. Now, this credit was only available to those businesses that suffered during COVID. And the original rule was you had to show like a 50% decrease in revenue. In this new act, now you just need to show a 20% decrease in revenue. So if you retain your employees and you can show that your business suffered like a decrease of 20% of revenue, contact your payroll provider now, because this credit is up to 50%, or originally it was up to 50% of $10,000 for every employee. This new act increased that 50% to 70% of $10,000 per employee, and instead of $10,000 per year for the employee, it's $10,000 per quarter. And as you know, a credit is better than a deduction. So that credit is essentially $1 that you're getting back. And I assume these payroll providers are going to apply these credits to payroll taxes that you've already paid. So essentially, you should be getting money back on that. So this is another win for small businesses. So again, contact your payroll provider. Point number 5, jobless aid. Another $300 per week for the next 11 weeks for those that are unemployed. And this also applies to gig workers. So gig workers were usually, they weren't eligible for this financial aid. Now they are part of this group. And then they extended the amount of time workers can claim benefits from 26 weeks to 50 weeks. And then finally, the bonus, and what we've been hearing, is the meals and entertainment expense deduction. So if you're a small business owner and you have meals at restaurants and you can only deduct 50% of that, the rumor has it that now you can deduct 100%, and I think that's going to start in 2021, and I think it's a 2-year deal, so 2021 and 2022. Now obviously this is encouraging businesses to have meetings at restaurants to help the restaurants out, because they've been significantly hurt. So this is another win all around. So again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tell others about this. As we learn more, this bill was 5,600 pages long. So as we learn more about this, we'll pass it along, and appreciate you following us. Thank you.